Hi, I am Venkata. I would like to start the presentation on behalf of our group 8. So, our prime question is what is innovation? Coming to the innovation, everyone thinks it as an easy question or a simple question. But straightforwardly, we can say it has been the most difficult question to achieve the consciousness among the leaders. And also, innovation is the creation of something that improves the way we live our lives. So, with respect to an innovation occurs in an organization or a small startup, or with respect to an daily life, so it changes the lives and also it helps to improve the way we live our lives. So innovation may not be the major thing, it can also be the minor parts also. So innovation is something fresh where the new or the original ideas may be improved to create some value. Innovation is an idea that adds the value. Innovation is the change that creates a new dimension of performance. So with respect to an organization performs a great innovation, so that we can say that organization is financially stable, or it has a great potential to improve its performance. So we can also say that innovation is the creation, development and the implementation of new products process which aim for the improving efficiency and also the effectively the competitive advantage. So these are the aspects of what we call as it an innovation. So why innovation is an important aspect for business or any organization? So with respect to innovation, an organization strives to achieve its performance to the highest capable of what it has. And also any small startup which has an innovation, it might be helpful for its the growth and its also sustainability in the respective industry. Now,
Nature of innovations. Nature of innovation can be categorized into three categories, which are sustainable innovation, disruptive innovation, and efficiency innovation. Sustainable innovation is the kind of innovation that is usually done by established players in the market who currently enjoy a customer base. The innovation comes in the form of bringing cyclic updates to existing products to increase their appeal, quality, and features. The drawback of carrying on with this type of an innovation is that eventually the product would reach a saturation level in terms of features and quality, or it is updated to such an extent that most of its initial customers cannot afford it anymore or don't require all the features that have been added. In such a case, the customer would choose to opt out from buying the later versions and continue using the older models. Now, disruptive innovation. This is a kind of innovation that is undertaken by new entrants into the market. These new players start off by providing a low cost substitute to an already available sustainably innovated product. By offering a low cost substitute, the new entrant more often than not appeals to the lower end of the customer segment, where profit margins are low and market share is negligible. These new entrants eventually climb up the value chain by offering attractive alternatives to existing competition. Attractive in the sense of price, features, or value, or all of the above. Now, efficiency innovation. This is the kind of innovation which focuses primarily on increasing efficiency of the business and manufacturing. Here, the economic surplus generated by way of making the business more efficient and increasing output generated per dollar is invested back into the business to further make it more efficient, thus bringing down drastically the per unit cost or the per unit time taken to manufacture.
Next, we will be talking about the types of innovation. There are 9 types of innovation, which are also called the levels of innovation. The 9 types of innovation starts from design and market innovation and goes till industry innovation. These 9 types of innovation are arranged in the form of a pyramid structure according to the nature and the scope of the innovation and the complexity of the innovation. So, as we move from top to the bottom of the pyramid, complexity or difficulty of the innovation starts to increase. That is, innovation at the upper layer, such as product and design innovation, are easier to innovate, whereas innovations like business model and industry innovations are more demanding in terms of time and resources. As we move from bottom to the top of the pyramid, we can see that the scope of the nature of the innovation starts to decrease. For example, business model innovation and industry innovation have a broader scope, which may vary from incremental innovation to a radical innovation, whereas the product and design innovation have a narrow scope which are generally of incremental in nature. So we will be talking about 9 types of innovation in detail. The first level of innovation or type of innovation is design and marketing innovation. Design and marketing innovation is a method used for generating new ideas. It focuses on meeting people's need with technologically feasible solutions and developing a sustainable growth model to capitalize on this consumer potential. A marketing innovation in specific is the introduction of a modern marketing approach that is substantially different from the company's prior marketing method and has never been used before. Significant improvement in product design or packaging, product placement, product advertising are needed for a marketing innovation. The second one is product innovation. It is the business that is identified with the improvement of a new and present day item, alteration in plans of the generally existing item, empowering utilization for better and new parts or material, or effectively settled item. 63% of the people actually enjoy when manufacturers offer them new products, and this highlights the importance of developing a product innovation and technology strategy for our business. Next is service innovation. It is defined as new services offered by organizations to meet an external user or market need. It can be defined as another or altogether improved assistance idea that is taken into training. It means changing the way we serve our customers to create greater value for them and deliver more revenue for the organization.
Next, market, customers, channel innovation. Market innovation is the improvement of the mix of target markets and of the way in which these are served. It refers to new markets and to the new distribution process in the foreign and local markets. In a market innovation, you are attempting to leverage your current know-how to get into markets that you have not previously participated. Innovating customers involves changing how customers think, how customers behave, and how customers react. It does not mean to capture new customers in the market, but just the ones who are already your customers. For example, far-reaching innovation that is often caused by other forms of innovation is channel innovation. Include not only the main service when examining channel developments, but also complementary products or offerings that may experience channel innovation because of other innovations. Technology innovation. Technology innovation is the process by which a company embarks on the journey in which the value of technology as a source of innovation has been recognized as a means of increasing market competitiveness. Process innovation. The introduction of a new or substantially changed manufacturing or distribution system is referred to as process innovation. It may be made to lower manufacturing or distribution unit cost, boost efficiency, or create or supply new or substantially improved goods.
Moving on to management innovation. The management innovations are underway in an organization all the time since most of the practices we see today were developed during the last 150 years. The process involves implementation of new management practices, structures, and processes to transform the integral workings of an organization by trying something new. The innovations are broadly based on 4 perspectives. Firstly, institutional, which focuses on socio-economic conditions. Fashion, which focuses on dynamic interplay between users and providers. Third, cultural, which focuses on management, on new management. And lastly, rational, that is based on individuals driving the change, that drive the organization behavior upon change. Next is business model innovation. In its simplest form, a business model provides information about an organization's target market, the current needs of the market, and how the firm's product or service will mitigate those needs. This model allows a business to be updated with the customer demand and expectations and putting new strategies in place to meet them. Lastly, industry innovation. Disrupting an existing industry with new products or processes developed by the organizations in the sector refers to as industry innovation. It means any conceptualization of new techniques developed to deliver superior products to the consumers while saving more for the firm and providing a sustainable environment for the whole industry. These disruptions in the industry can aid in streamlining manufacturing and delivery processes and meet long-term strategic goals for a firm.
So I'll be talking about locus of innovation. So what is locus of innovation? It is a position or place where something occurs or is situated So this kind of innovation can be classified based on where and what was the purpose of innovation into 4 different types, namely small teams, projects, organization and business ecosystem innovation. So to start with small teams, so when a company has a research and development unit, small teams work towards innovating value to the company and make consistent efforts for making it viable. Next is projects. So innovation conceptualization happening because of a project with a time constraint. So innovation takes place for a specific project and runs its course through the project and becomes non-valuable to other projects, but it is also viable for similar sort of projects. Coming to the organization, innovation occurring at an organizational level. For example, Zara reducing its delivery time. An innovation that benefits the organization, possibly providing the competitor advantages over other industry players. Finally, the business ecosystem innovation. So an industry where the innovation is the only thing that keeps you alive in the industry, provides a first mover advantage, competitor advantage and makes you stand out. So that's about locus of innovation.
Ford Motors. The nature of innovation was disruptive. The type of innovation was process innovation, and the locus of innovation was business ecosystems. Henry Ford wasn't the one who invented the motor car, nor was he the first car manufacturer to use standardized parts or use the flow production lines for motor cars. Olds Motor Works in 1902 was the first one to do that. Henry Ford's innovation came in the way of synthesizing the process and amalgamating the best of the existing methods and technologies to innovate the process they used. Other car manufacturers of the time focused on the niche customers by providing them with maximum options to customize their car. These car manufacturers provided customers with a standard chassis and engine, and everything else could be customized to the extent of the customer's creativity. This meant that cars could only be afforded by the really rich people. What Ford did with its Model T was make a motor car that would be afforded by the masses. How he did this was by the way of process innovation, of how the car would be built. The model they tried to make made use of existing innovations in technology, which reduced the number of skilled laborers required, mechanized a majority of the assembly processes, integrated preparation and manufacturing processes for components and finished products, and systematized the complete process. Henry Ford and his engineers, to make this process innovation successful, had to redesign the car completely.
So, founded in 2008, Airbnb is an online marketplace dealing in vacation homes across the globe. Unlike a hotel service, they allow people to list their homes or spaces they want to rent out on the website, which other users can then choose to stay at and pay for the owner of the property. Airbnb's business model was based on the concept of offering a low-cost alternative to a low-value consumer. And by using the idea of the sharing economy, they provided a new source of income for the hosts. This resulted in an increase in both demand and supply for lodging. Initially, Airbnb provided a service that was far lower than the market standards, as not many people were comfortable sharing their private houses with strangers. But over time, they improved the quality of service and provided the most premium and luxurious properties in the pool, which the mature market could not cope up with. This feat was attained through threefold innovations. First, it was a digital innovation. Building up on the cornerstone of their innovative strategy, Airbnb updated its home screen and app landing pages in response to the crisis from various perspectives and introduced new services such as monthly stays and online experiences, which were missing from other platforms. Even during the COVID pandemic, they provided frontline stays, which are designed to provide medical professionals and first responders with places to stay that allowed them to be close to their patients while remaining safely separated from their own families. Moving on to the disruptive innovation. So people were mainly restricted to staying in hotels while traveling before Airbnb entered the market, which greatly raised their costs and took away from getting an authentic living experience. Airbnb carved out a blue ocean for itself by pioneering the home on rent idea, which proved lucrative for both travelers and homeowners. Airbnb allows travelers to live in a house rather than a hotel, making them feel more at ease in a new city while also decreasing their overall costs. This was the pinnacle of disruptive innovation as it displaced the current market leaders and made such sophisticated properties available to the public. Lastly, the transnational innovation. Airbnb embraced the culture of the countries where they expanded and adapted their approach accordingly as they developed and expanded internationally. Airbnb has kept its information and expertise open to the public by holding neighborhood meetups to learn from their hosts and to serve as a networking opportunity to share this accrued knowledge with the industry. So, this was a threefold innovation strategy through which Airbnb developed its market in the international way.
Tesla was founded in 2003 by genius troublemaker Elon Musk, and the first electric sports car was launched in 2008. By April 2017, the company had become the most profitable automaker in the United States, and it was valued at more than $56 billion later that year. Tesla Motors was the first company to break the mold. Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla and the chief product architect, not only challenged orthodoxy, but he did so in an industry of 100-year-old traditions, norms, and processes. Of course, the automobile industry has always innovated, but Tesla, which was established in 2003, has pushed the envelope further than most automakers thought it was possible. The company's techpreneurship in the Silicon Valley style allowed it to move quicker, operate more efficiently, and come up with groundbreaking new ideas in the areas of sustainable mobility and automotive technology. After all, this is the Musk's way of doing things. In 1998, he revolutionized e-commerce by launching PayPal, a widely used and secure payment network. SpaceX, a company that designs, produces, and launches rockets and spacecrafts, was founded by Musk in 2002. The company's mission is to make it possible for people to live in other worlds. Musk himself wishes to die on Mars and claims it would be possible. Musk Tesla is focused on disrupting the mobility industry. The company has released all of its patents holdings as of mid-June 2014, arguing that open source innovation is more powerful than any single thing a company might do on its own. Though intellectual property lawyers grumbled, Wall Street cheered, sending Tesla's stock price up by 14% to $231 per share. The technology and design strategy of the company's flagship model, a $69,900 luxury vehicle, exemplifies this radical approach to innovation.
So I would like to discuss about the organization Zara with respect to the innovation audit framework. So innovation audit framework consists of three types, as we know: the nature of innovation, the type of innovation, and the locus of innovation. Here we determine Zara as the nature of innovation as the efficient innovation, and the type of innovation as the process innovation, and the locus of innovation as the organization innovation. So why we have determined these nature, type, and the locus? So Zara has been creating jobs by bringing the elite fashion to the masses, which sounds empowering. It also kindly reducing the cost of making high fashionable clothes, which is purely efficient. By this statement, we can understand that Zara is purely efficient in the innovation format. And also, with respect to the process innovation, Zara started changing the design, manufacturing, and the distribution process to reduce the lead times. So we can say that Zara has been trying to achieve the process time with respect to reducing its lead time. And also, the company based its improvements on the use of the information technologies and the use of groups of designers for the organization. So with respect to the information technologies and other equipments, we can say that the process time or the runtime for the organization which has been previously will be reduced. So with this aspect, we can say that the Zara has been included in the process innovation, and its type of innovation is process innovation. So with to the third one, locus of innovation. So anyone who can say that locus of innovation is say that any the company which manufactures the new products through for the competitive advantage of similar companies. So similarly, Zara has also been doing same. Zara offers the considerably more products than the similar companies, say H&M and etc. So the company can design a new product and finish the goods within less time, say 4 to 5 weeks. It can also modify the existing manufacturing products to say 2 weeks. So we can say that Zara strives to achieve its innovation on basis of organizational structure. So these three statements say that Zara has been an efficient innovation with respect to the nature of innovation, and the process innovation with respect to the type of innovation, and the organization innovation with respect to the locus of innovation.
Next, we will talk about Netflix. Founded in 1977 and headquartered in California, Netflix is an OTT platform founded by Mark Randolph and Reed Hastings. Originally, Netflix was a website that rented DVD through mail posting. Today, Netflix is the market leader in streaming movies and TV shows. The company had a revenue of $25 billion in 2020 and a market capitalization of around $245 billion. Netflix had 203 million paid subscribers worldwide as of the fourth quarter of 2020. Most Netflix subscribers are based in the United States, with the United States accounting for over 73 million of Netflix's total global subscriber base. It is ranked number 7 in the list of top 10 US online retailers by online sales. Talking about its innovation audit framework, the nature is disruptive, type is business model, and locus is organization. Disruptive innovation is a method by which small businesses can change the way big businesses operate. Netflix has influenced the conventional market of the television and entertainment industry, especially how people access their content in this case. It began as a small website where people could rent DVDs over the internet. It gradually grew, first as a monthly subscription service, then as a streaming service in 2007. The cable networks were perplexed. Netflix was doing things that were different from what they normally did, but people enjoyed it. In only 3 years, Netflix attracted 20 million new subscribers to the streaming service. Netflix is considerably less expensive than traditional cable. Most notably, Netflix deviates from the conventional cable's linear format, which allows viewers to adhere to a strict viewing schedule to watch the shows or movies they want. Netflix is more flexible than cable since it can be accessed from a variety of devices. Netflix caters to unique consumer requirements such as comfort and a wide range of options. People react positively to Netflix creativity as shown by the growing number of subscribers. It is a revolutionary breakthrough that has normalized the way people can consume their content in addition to its impact on the entertainment industry. Clearly, Netflix is a classic example of the disruptive innovation business. It supported only those who did not hear about new releases, were aware of DVD players or did online shopping. As Netflix targeted segments of the population that have been overlooked by its competitors, delivering them an inferior alternative at a lower price. Eventually, Netflix moved up market by adding the things mainstream consumer wanted. Netflix is a company that uses the internet to reinvent the market. Although the company came as a disruptive ahead of time, many are now trying to implement a similar business model to compete.
So to explain disruptive innovation and business model, I've chosen Walmart. So Walmart is an American multinational retail corporation that comprises of a chain of hypermarkets, grocery stores and discount department stores. It's the world's largest company by revenue and it was the largest US grocery retailer in 2019. The Walton family owns the company and it's a publicly traded family-owned business. Coming to disruptive innovation, as shopping habits change, staying competitive at scale means evolving quickly to meet customers where they are. This means coming up with digital forward initiatives including several startup partnerships and cutting-edge technologies. So there are some particular areas in which Walmart is innovating to achieve the goal. First is door-to-door delivery. So they've come up with self-driving cars. For this purpose, Walmart launched an autonomous vehicle delivery pilot program in Chandler, Arizona. Then they also have order online and pick up at kiosk options. So inside its stores, Walmart is installing next generation technology that gives customers new ways to shop. The company has installed pickup towers which are vending machine-like retrieval systems for general merchandise in more than 1200 stores. So shoppers can go online and pick up their items on demand. The final one is groceries delivered to one's car door. So in online grocery pickup, human touch and technology combine to create a simpler, faster experience for shoppers. Customers can fill their baskets online, select a convenient pickup time and receive those groceries at a designated pickup area without ever having to visit the store. Specially trained personal shoppers select the ordered items throughout the store and bring them right to the customer's car in the parking lot. Coming to the business model of Walmart, entire Walmart's operation in the world is divided into three main segments, which is the Walmart US, Walmart International, Sam's Club, and Walmart mobile app. So, to explain Sam's Club, so this is a membership-only warehouse club in 44 states of US and Puerto Rico, and it represents about 12% of the net sales. Coming to Walmart's business model strategy, so some of the key elements of Walmart's business strategy include lead on price. So the main characteristic of Walmart's business model is the commitment to keep its price as low as possible so that they're accessible to practically the entire population. Next is differentiating on access. So whenever we think of Walmart, the image of big centers and supermarkets always comes to our mind. But one of the corporation's strategies is to diversify to the population. For this reason, they invest in small format stores with fresh food, digital marketing and retail, its e-commerce experience, and also connecting physical and digital. Next is competing on assortment. Walmart invests heavily in a variety of products and brands, right from local products to international names, both in its brick and mortar and online segment. Finally, we have delivering a great experience. Walmart knows that the best strategy for customer retention is to offer them the best possible experience so that they come and buy again from their stores. For this, they pay its employees well and also invest in personnel training. Coming to revenue avenues of the Walmart's business model, they are divided into two different types: the product revenues and service revenues. Under product revenues, we have different segments like grocery, health and wellness, entertainment, hardlines, apparel, home. And under service revenues, there are three different segments, namely financial services, movie streaming service, and the clinical service.